Hello everybody, I'm back. Coming back to you this time with some good seafood gumbo. Starting out with some fish, which I selected tilapia. You can use catfish, cod, whatever fish, red snapper, whatever type you like. Shrimp, peeled the vein, cleaned. And then what I did is I took the shrimp shells, put them in some water, let them steep for like about 10-15 minutes, and made shrimp stock. So what I'll do is I'll actually take the shells out of there before I put them in the pot with the gumbo, obviously. And then you have smoked sausage. I have some chicken. I have seafood stock, clam juice. Normally I would put clams in there, but I like oysters. But instead of using oysters, raw oysters, I'm actually going to use clam juice to still give it that taste. Worcestershire sauce, oregano, seafood stock, my Body of Complete Saison seasoning, some thyme, cayenne pepper, Creole seasonings. I have a couple different ones, the Zatarans and the Tony Sacharan, and then black pepper, some okra, claw crab, lump crab meat, vegetable oil, flour, and you have your holy trinity. I have celery, onion, bell pepper. I didn't use green, I used the red, yellow, and orange. Has a much sweeter flavor, and about 3 cloves of garlic. Also, you would need filet powder, which don't have any now, but I will before it's finished. And then I think I might put some actual crab legs in it. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do, put a couple of tablespoons of oil in the pot. We're going to add our celery, onion, and bell pepper. I'm going to hold off on the garlic and add that after this is cooked down so that the garlic doesn't burn. Give it a nice stir. We'll let this cook until the vegetables become translucent, and we'll be right back. Added the garlic in, and I'm going to continue to allow these vegetables to sweat out a little bit more, probably like about 2-3 minutes. All right, so now that the vegetables have sweated out, I'm going to remove them, put them back on the platter, and then start the roux. Okay, so starting the roux. Put equal parts oil, which I have a half a cup of oil, to equal parts flour, which is a half cup of flour. I'm going to stir that together. And this may take 20-30 minutes to cook, because what you're doing is you're actually cooking the flour. You want to continue to keep cooking it until it reaches like a dark peanut butter color, like a And it kind of depends on how dark you like it. I mean, I like mine's dark, like really dark. However, some people may like it a little lighter. This is your gumbo. You make it how you want to make it. This is the way I'm making mine. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit and then just let this cook until it turns a dark brown. As you can see, the roux has gotten to like a paper sack brown. For some people, they like theirs like it's more like a blonde. Paper sack to blonde color roux. However, like I said, I like my roux dark. To me, the darker the roux, the more flavor you're gonna get. Right. So that took like about 10 minutes. As you can see, the roux is like a chocolate color. So now what I'm gonna do is add in my sausage. Please be careful because it's very, very hot. So you wanna be careful not to splash. Let that cook for just a moment. Then we're going to go ahead and put back in our vegetables. With all of that goodness. Right. Then we're going to add in our shrimp stock. Just strain that, put this over it to make sure don't catch any shells. And on the bottom, you'll see that there were some little bits. Adding this liquid to it will pick up all those bits. Then also what I'm going to do is add the seafood stock. It's going to be 1 quart. All right, and then also I'm going to add the clam juice. Which is a little 8-ounce bottle. And then we're going to add in half of the claw meat. One thing I love about cooking or recipes when you're cooking versus recipes when you're baking is that with baking you have to be precise because baking is a science. With cooking, it's not like that. Especially when you're cooking with love from the heart like I do. So I'm going to put in half a can and I'm going to save the rest to put on, to actually add in when I add the shrimp and the fish towards the end. So this will help to give it more flavor. All right, now I'm going to add my seasonings. I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of the Badia seasoning. I like this seasoning because it gives your food a little extra kick. It's not filled with a lot of sodium. Have a teaspoon of oregano. Teaspoon of dried thyme. Two teaspoons of pepper. You may want to do one. I like pepper. I'm gonna do cayenne pepper. I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna do a half a teaspoon. Like I said, it's your gumbo. Depends on how spicy you like yours. I like mine spicy, but not that spicy. As a matter of fact, I'm not even gonna do, you know what? Yeah, I am gonna do. I'm gonna do a half teaspoon. I'm gonna do a quarter teaspoon. I'm sorry, I take that back. And the reason I'm gonna do a quarter teaspoon is because I'm adding this Creole seasoning. So what I'm gonna do is, I like both of the seasonings. So I'm gonna do a half teaspoon of each, the Tony Sachers and the Zatarans. And then also, when it gets to a point where you're about to add your shrimp and your fish, you can adjust the seasoning if it's doesn't have enough seasoning, with either more Creole seasoning, or you can actually put some salt in there. And that's it. So now what I'm gonna do is bring this to a boil and then turn it down and let it cook for an hour, and I'll be back. Turn it down to medium and let it cook for an hour. I almost forgot to add the Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of that. All right. So it's been an hour. Everything is cooked down on about a medium low. Now what we're gonna do is add the okra. And it's good to let your okra sit out during that hour. If you do buy some frozen, if you buy it fresh, you don't have to do that. But if it's frozen, I would recommend letting it sit out. What we're gonna do is let this cook for about 30 minutes, maybe 45, depending upon how long it takes for the okra to soften up and cook. You wanna leave it on the lower heat, like the medium low. On my stove, on the medium low, it's not rapidly boiling, but there is a little simmer to it. And the reason that you wanna leave the temperature turned down is because with okra, if it's boiling, the okra will actually stick to the bottom of the pot. So you want to cook that kind of slow, which the longer you cook this anyway, the better it's going to taste. So what we're going to do is put the top on. If you can see it now, you'll see little bubbles in my pot where it's bubbling, just simmering. So leave this in here for 30 to 45 minutes, and then we'll be back and add the rest of the meat. In the meantime, what we're going to do is prepare some rice as well. All right. We're back. As you can see, the okra is done. What I'm going to do is go ahead and add the fish, which with me adding these cold meats is going to cool the soup or the okra down, the gumbo down. So what I'm going to do is turn the heat up a little bit more. Here's all the shrimp. Chicken, the rest of the crab. This is the claw. Break that up a little bit. And then also the lump. Break that up as well. Look at all that goodness. Also, when I went back to the store, couldn't find any filet powder. So I'm not going to put any in there, obviously. Also, when I went, purchased some crab legs, about a pound. And I saw some shrimp skewers. So I'm going to add some more shrimp. The ones that I put in here earlier, I took those and butterflied them. But when I butterflied them, I halved them, cut them in half. So I'm going to leave these whole. So these are just some whole shrimp. Take the tail off, which I did rinse these off as well before I put them in here. So this gumbo is definitely going to be very, very hearty because it has plenty of seafood in here. Plenty. All right. And then I took my crab legs and broke them apart, broke the clusters, put the clusters in there. And all the legs. All right. All right, so what I'm going to do is bring this up to temp again, let it cook for like about 15 minutes on about a medium, and then we'll be done. All right, our gumbo is done. Now I'm just going to plate it up. Look at all that heavenly goodness. One of those clusters. And then top it off with some rice. Put a couple crab legs on top. There you have it. And brighten it up with a little parsley. The world's best seafood gumbo made by yours truly.